Well, isn't this a perfect Muskoka morning to be surrounded by puppies and such a positive energy? And I'm really excited to be sitting down today with the founder of Muskoka Puppy Yoga, Erin Gorrie.
Hi.
And I am so excited to be able to share your story and the foundation of this amazing business that you've grown right here in Muskoka.
Thanks, Mel. I'm so happy you're here.
What a great class.
Yay!
I knew that I'd made the right choice somewhere in life when this is my work day. And you.
You do not have to tell me. I know.
Exactly. So tell me a little bit about when you decided that this was going to be a business and how you jumped right in or stuck a toe in. I mean, please share.
So 6 years ago, I had a major incident at work. I was a police officer, and I left and I went home. And I spent 3 years sort of going from my bed to my couch and really realizing I wrapped my whole life around my job. And at the same time, I had two older sons that went off to university. So there's these two identities that I was like, that's who Erin is. I'm a mom or I'm this police officer. Both were gone. And my youngest started to struggle at school. And I thought, let's go do a yoga class together. It'll get me into the city, out of my bed, away from Huntsville. And when I Googled a studio, I found a puppy yoga studio. And I was like, what? Where has it been my whole life? Like,
it's how we felt today.
Right? I was like, I've taught yoga for a few years, and I'm like, I don't even know this existed. So of course, that feeling, I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't really been excited about anything in so long. So I signed us up, and when I went into that class, I say this, and it sounds so crazy that it changed my life, but it really did, because this puppy climbed on my lap. Immediately, I started feeling something I hadn't felt in like a decade.
Yes.
And I came into that class feeling lighter, feeling more like myself, whatever that was. And I got home and I was like, well, there I am. I'm going to Toronto once a week for puppy yoga therapy. And if you live in Huntsville, that trek is not easy.
We're in Muskoka.
Right?
And why not bring it to Muskoka? Which you did.
Yeah, so I thought, I wonder if I could do this. And to think I was starting it as a business, that's not what I thought. I just thought, I need this in my life.
Yes.
It got me out of bed. Okay, well, maybe I can do it. So, I mean, it was just these weird steps. I was like, okay, I need to try and find somewhere to rent, and I need to figure out how do you acquire puppies and do that. So
you weren't kidnapping them.
No,
it wasn't a 101 Dalmatians moment.
No, but I got connected with breeders who thought this is a great socialization for their puppies.
It is.
And it's just been this organic thing that has just started to unfold. And I thought, you know what, there has to be more people in Muskoka that feel that they're struggling, that are going through something that could use this kind of therapy as well. And so it's just been the best thing that ever happened.
It is something that you have taken outside of Muskoka as well.
Yes.
Right.
So breeders that hear about us approach me and say, oh my gosh, we would love to come, but it's 2 hours from us. And, I'm like, okay, well, where are you? And we could probably come to you. And so we have wonderful yoga instructors that absolutely love teaching this. And so they're able to go to, a different community.
Yes.
And we try to run those once a month, typically, because here in Huntsville, we have a lot of partners.
Yes.
So there's a lot of puppies available. We try to run every weekend, and that seemingly works. But we do one class. So like you came today, the puppies came, they did an hour, now they've gone home to rest and sleep, and they'll come back tomorrow and do another hour, and then they'll go home and rest and sleep. So we don't do multiple classes back to back.
Nope.
The
Fair enough.
ethical piece of all of this is so important to me. So, but yeah, it's something that I'm now learning the science behind, and I have an understanding of what happens in this room and what happened to me that day.
It's so interesting to listen to the steps that you went through to make it happen. And I find that I'm very negatively motivated. I'm very negatively motivated. So when there's a problem, I'll figure out how to solve it.
Yes.
When I'm comfortable, then I'll just keep going through the motions. But I know, for example, as a mom, my daughter will say, we have an understanding now that it's either I need support or I need a solution, because my go-to is to find the solution.
Yes.
And
You're a fixer.
And as
I
were
am
you.
as well.
And I think that, seeing that transition from one career to the other, you were a fixer. And then, identifying that you needed something more in your life.
I
and
needed
then,
something to get me out of that bed.
Yes.
And who knew it was going to be a bunch of puppies? Like, honestly.
Life is better with puppies.
I mean, there would be times on night shifts I remember looking at the ceiling and going, I'm coming back as a dog walker in my next life. Like,
And how many puppies have you gone home with?
Oh, one. I swore I was doing none.
None, but one in 3 years.
Yeah, 1 in 3 years is pretty good.
That's great.
Yeah. Oh, I'd take them all and I would have a massive place and it would just be insane. But that's not real. So one, and he's now the reason why I get out of bed too during the week. I've got my puppy yoga on the weekend, so I get here.
That's wonderful.
I have him now, and I mean, there's something about animals and people and what it is that they can do. That's co-regulation, the nervous system settles, all these things happen that we don't even know are happening.
No.
And you're just like, I love this.
So when did you know that this was going to be a big thing?
I mean, I don't think I ever had a conscious thought of it. It's funny because we get warped when you're in it on what is big.
Yes.
And with social media now and, people following and all the things, you hear millions of followers, millions of followers, millions of followers. So I just assume that you have to have millions of followers to have a successful social media. But turns out, no, like hundreds of thousands is a lot.
Hundreds of thousands is still a lot.
Right? And I don't think a lot about it. What it is, I think, is that I take the video footages from here, it gets online, and that feeling that you feel in class translates through. And people love watching.
Yeah.
I mean,
It brings joy.
Yeah. It does. It does. And who doesn't want to wake up in the morning and watch a puppy for 5 minutes and then start your day? I mean, I know I do. And clearly a lot of people do.
Yes,
So
for sure.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It's been amazing.
So speaking of following, speaking of social media, how do you show up consistently?
Oh gosh. It doesn't feel like any work or anything hard, because I'll finish the class like we just did, and I have my assistant that does videos through the class, and I'll go home and I want to know what's happened in the class because I'm here going through and focusing on what I'm doing, teaching my yoga. I see it at the side of my eye. I hear laughter. I hear things. And I'm like, well, I wonder what happened. And then I go home and I'll just sit, and it's like watching Netflix but on my phone, and I'm like, oh, well, that's what that was, or that's what happened. That puppy knocked over that water bottle, and then I see people's faces, and I'm watching people's shoulders dropping, and I'm seeing this beautiful reaction between both the puppies and the people, and so I look through it and I say, well, that brought an emotion out in me. That made me laugh. That's fun, and then I just clip it and I upload it, and it seems like a lot of work, but it's just not.
It's not. It's not. Such joy.
And I can do it whenever I want. If I go home and I'm too tired, I don't. If I go, 2 days go by and I'm like, I don't. But then I'm like, well, I feel like it.
It's time to rewatch that and relive that feeling.
Yes.
Because I know when we were walking down the hall and you talked about this, the anticipation of coming to this class and then walking in the room and the energy that is in the room. Everybody is here and excited to participate in the class, that's for sure.
Those are endorphins. Those are endorphins. And they are happening inside our body when we are anticipating something. And so for me, I wasn't excited about anything. No. And I still hardly get excited about anything. I really get excited about this.
This is really exciting. Yeah. We also know you're an author. How does that tie into what you're building?
So weird. I still don't identify with that word. When someone says, you're an author, I'm like,
yes, you are.
Oh, I guess I am.
Yes, you are.
So it was such an interesting process. I was asked to write a chapter in a collaborative book. I was really
reading it.
Yeah, it was really right. I was really deep into my healing journey at that point, and my therapist and I were uncovering a lot of things, and I realized that this is my story. Yes, a lot of people know about it, but I lived my life in fear that somebody would reveal my secrets. And my cousin wrote in this series of collaborative book. This was volume 2. She encouraged me. She said, you have a story, you should tell it. And I was like, no. And when I spoke with the editor, she said, you get to say your own story. You get to be the narrator of your own story in this. And then you'll never have to look over your shoulder again because it's out there. And I was like, And that thought of freedom, I had no idea what it felt like, but I was like, maybe this is the last piece.
Yes.
Maybe this is what's really going to release me from all of this craziness that I've been living in. And so I took the leap and I wrote in it. It was extremely terrifying. And then the editor said, you have a book.
It's a bigger story to tell.
There's so much. And I was like, I couldn't write my name some days, if you ask me, because of, it's this journey has been very difficult. Yeah. I do suffer from PTSD. I do have a lot of limitations now. And her and I talked about it, and I said, I can tell stories though to you. And she said, why don't you voice note this? And I was like, what?
Yes.
And she said, just talk into your phone.
Yeah.
So what I found was I started to get comfortable driving again, which took a long time.
Yeah.
And I put my phone up and I would drive wherever I was going to see my kids in the city. And 2.5 hours, I would tell a story or two of my life. And I would cry and I would start realizing I needed more therapy and I needed to talk about more things. I know. It was very therapeutic.
Yes.
The unraveling of it all. And then before I knew it, it was a book. And my editor beautifully edited and off it went. And here it was. And my
it's
book
wonderful.
was born. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your story with us.
Thank you. It was terrifying, but
you are very brave.
Thank you.
And we are very appreciative for all you've done and all you've built.
Thank you.
Muskoka Puppy Yoga and beyond.
Thank you, Val.
Thank you so much. So I know you travel. Mm-hmm. I know you leave Muskoka a lot. But I know for me that the shoulders start to drop as soon as I start heading northbound again or heading home this way. What is your Muskoka ritual?
Oh gosh, I have a few, but I think the one that I love the most is just sitting outside. Yeah. And we live outside of the town of Huntsville, so it's quiet. Yes. You can hear birds. I don't hear traffic. There's no people. It's just me, my dogs, quiet by the fire, in my Muskoka chair, just, remembering that hustle and bustle that's outside of Muskoka does not necessarily exist in Muskoka. So
it's incredible. I'll meet you there.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
You're welcome.